Right now, somewhere on a wide open plain, a gazelle is calmly tearing at the grass out on the open savanna, surrounded on every side by things that would love to eat it. It keeps no bucket list. It is not quietly dreading the coming winter, or the slow arrival of its own old age. And that raises a strange, faintly uncomfortable question about the cat asleep on your couch, and, honestly, about you. Is there a single creature out there that truly knows, deep in its bones, that one day it is going to die? Or is that heavy, magnificent piece of knowledge yours and yours alone? For the longest time, science insisted the answer was simple. Animals feel nothing about death, it said. They just move on. Then we started watching more closely, and what we saw tore that tidy idea apart. Scientists even gave this strange new field a name of its own: comparative thanatology, the study of how living animals respond to their dead. And the harder they looked, across herds and pods and colonies, the blurrier the line between us and them became. Watch a herd of elephants stumble across the bones of another elephant. The whole herd falls silent. They slow to a crawl. They reach out with their trunks and gently turn the old skull over, running the sensitive tips along the tusks and the jaw. And sometimes they stand there like that for a full hour. And here is the eerie part. They only do it for elephant bones. Hand them the skull of a buffalo, and they barely glance at it. Somehow, they know that these particular bones were once one of them. Researchers have watched elephants return to the same bones again and again, years after the body itself was long gone. Some scientists suspect an elephant can even recognize the skull of a particular elephant it once knew and walked beside. So do they understand what they are looking at? Now watch a chimpanzee mother whose baby has just died. She will carry the tiny body for days, sometimes for weeks, still grooming it, still cradling it long after it has gone cold and limp. One young chimp, named Flint, studied by Jane Goodall, lost his mother and simply gave up. He stopped eating, curled up in the exact spot where he had last seen her alive, and within a few weeks he was dead too. That is not the look of blind instinct. That is the look of a broken heart. In one sanctuary in Zambia, chimps were even filmed gently cleaning the teeth of a dead friend with a stem of grass, a slow, careful, tender act that no one had ever recorded before. And then there is Tahlequah, an orca off the coast of Washington, who in the summer of 2018 gave birth to a calf that died within the hour. For 17 days, across 1,000 miles of open ocean, she balanced that lifeless calf on her back and pushed it along, refusing to let it slip beneath the surface. 6 years later, grieving a second lost calf, she did the whole heartbreaking thing all over again. So animals grieve. Doesn't that settle the question? Not quite. Because here is the trap the whole thing hinges on. Reacting to a death is not the same thing as understanding death. And the distance between those two is enormous. Let me show you with a creature that looks the most respectful of all, and understands the least. Meet the ants. When an ant dies, its body slowly begins to release a chemical called oleic acid. The instant its nestmates catch that smell, they pick up the corpse and haul it off to a graveyard pile outside the colony. Neat, orderly, almost like a solemn little funeral. But watch what happens when a scientist dabs a single drop of that same chemical onto a perfectly healthy, living ant. Its own sisters will seize it and drag it, wriggling and struggling and extremely alive, straight out to the corpse pile. Again and again, no matter how hard it kicks, until the smell finally wears off. The great biologist E.O. Wilson gave this behavior a name: necrophoresis, the carrying away of the dead. But the ant has no concept of death whatsoever. It is simply following its nose. So is that grief, or is it only chemistry? Now the crows. When crows discover a dead crow, the whole flock, dozens of them, will swoop in and gather around the body, cawing loudly, in something that genuinely looks like a funeral. But when scientists dug into what was actually happening, they found the crows were not mourning at all. They were studying. They were burning that place and whatever was standing near the body into memory as dangerous, so that they would never end up the same way. It was not a eulogy. It was a lesson. So what do animals actually grasp? Researchers slice the concept of death into separate pieces. That a dead thing stops working. That it never, ever comes back. that it happens to every living creature. And the heaviest piece of all, that it is one day going to happen to you. And here is the twist, hidden inside the twist. A basic sense of death might actually be far more widespread than we ever assumed, for one cold reason. It is useful. A predator that grasps this one is already dead. Stop wasting energy on it, simply eats better and lives longer. Which is exactly why the opossum flops onto its side and plays dead the moment a fox appears. It commits completely, for hours if it has to. The body goes limp, the heart rate crashes, the tongue lolls out, and it even oozes a foul, rotting smell, a full performance of a corpse. That trick, faking your own death to survive, only works if the thing trying to kill you already carries some idea of what dead means. The opossum is quietly hacking a concept its enemy already has. The philosopher Susanna Monceau, who studies how animals understand death, argues this basic idea might be common across the animal world, precisely because it pays off so well. So, how much do they really know? So, a great many animals might well understand that death is real, that it is final, that it switches the body off for good. Elephants and chimps and orcas might even feel the raw, genuine ache of loss. That much now seems truly shared across the living world. And it is not only the giants. Dolphins push their dead calves to the surface for days. Giraffes stand silent watch over a fallen herd member. Magpies have been seen laying little tufts of grass beside a dead companion before quietly walking away. But do any of them truly dread it? The deepest pieces of all are a different story. That death is universal. That it is completely unavoidable. And above everything else, that it is coming for me, personally, some unknown day, no matter how fast or how far I run. For those pieces, in any animal other than us, we have found almost nothing. The gazelle bolts from the lion in front of it with every ounce of strength it owns, but it does not lie awake beneath the stars, dreading the lion that has not even been born yet. And that is the strange and lonely gift that appears to be almost entirely ours. Not merely to fear the thing lunging at you in this exact second, because every living creature on Earth does that, but to carry the ending folded up quietly inside you, all the time, from the moment you are old enough to understand it, knowing it waits out there for you, even on the most perfect, warm, sunlit afternoon of your life. It sounds like a curse when you say it out loud, but look hard at what we built on top of it. Almost everything humans have ever made that outlives a single lifetime. The great stone tombs, the songs, the photographs buried in your phone, the recipe handed down through a family, the child you patiently teach, the tree you plant knowing you will never once sit in its shade. All of it is us answering that one unbearable fact. We create things that refuse to die precisely because we know, with terrible certainty, that we will. So, does anything out there truly know it is going to die? A few of them, perhaps, feel the cold edge of it brush past. But that quiet, endless, everyday awareness that your story has a final page that still seems to belong to you alone. The cat on your couch sleeps so deeply and so peacefully because it simply does not know. And you get to love this ordinary, unremarkable afternoon just a little more fiercely for the exact same reason. Because you do.